Yo, what's good? Stu here, Stu TV. Appreciate you for checking out today's video. I know this video is going to be doing a deep dive into the latest of the gun token for Off the Grid. I know Off the Grid is just an upcoming AAA shooter. Just everything they got going on for the upcoming ecosystem. What are the plans to release for the token? How's the actual gameplay? How you earn? Just all your questions answered just in today's specific video. But let's get into
just getting into it with the latest with Off the Grid, PUBG, Apex style shooter, so AAA game. I don't know if it competes with the likes of a Call of Duty as far as within first-person shooters, but it is one to keep on your radar as it's integrated with all these different networks. And then getting into their gun token and just released, so you can be able to check out the website, look at the different gameplay if you choose to. They also just have weapons. I'll show you some different things as far as weapons that I required, and then just some specific strategies on how you can potentially cash out on these different assets and just eligibility as playing the game as you find various ones. So getting on to the next part, I know the gun token had just released. Right now it's sitting at a $31 million market cap, almost close to 32 million. Just with the process, they also still have it in testnet in terms of the time of this recording, but I know looking to transition out of mainnet, out of testnet and going into mainnet. You can also just scroll down and look at some of the markets. These are the ones that you can already get it available on, as far as Binance, BitGet, Mexi, Gate.io, Qcoin, Kraken, Bitmart, and Binance. So just being able to get into those specific markets, I would imagine it'll be other exchanges that'll allow the release for the gun token, but you can be able to check out different parts of the inventory, potentially just, strategize your different roster of items. You can potentially sell those, pull CSGO if you have a rare or epic item, but it also just comes playing games, shooting, playing in tournaments, and then also just leveraging yourself from that field, and then hopefully just capitalizing along the way as you just leverage your list of assets through your activity. But even just checking it out, it just be curious to see what actually tokenomics they'll have for the gun token going forward and different things they want to do with the process. Now just coming back to my next part, just with the following drop rates of Off the Grid. So this shows you all the different percentages of able to get these set percentage items. So this is how I'm specifically determining my buys with your extra gun token, because if you have extra gun token, as far as just to my knowledge, that gun token is in testnet, so these points are going to reset. So you'd be better served actually spending the points that you've already accumulated and being able to get into different items. But also just make sure you check out and refer back to the Discord. But you can look at the different items that you're able to get aspects to and grab. So if you buy something that has a very low percentage or you have a low rarity, you can spend your points to get more lower rare items. So when you can position yourself when it does go mainnet and it once goes live, then you can potentially sell some of these rare items that you picked up along the way. So I would imagine you're going to have to do a lot of specific strategies in terms of buying in and out of different skins, characters, and looking at all the attachments and things you collected while you play in the game. But this game does have a lot of attraction. I'll be interested to see what catalysts they have going forward, especially because they got the likes of streams like Ninja and then other Web 2 people actually getting attention from a Web 3 game. So the tokenomics is going to be very important. Also, make sure you check out Off the Grid Pro. You can be able to get different perks and incentives if you want to get access into that, and that's also another field and something that you could check out and go down if you decide that you want to choose that path, determine on how much you're actually active in the game. Also, just with my last point, you can actually just check out this post with Player One Gaming YT. So new Off the Grid time to kill weapons spreadsheet shows off all the weapons and stats after the new update. So you can be able to just look into all the different stats, see what specific gun, just the damage ratio, just look into the strike to hit, the body count, and then you can also just determine how you could potentially sell those different weapons or skins if you be able to get those list of different assets. So this is a very detailed thread just showing AR, MR, if it's a submachine, a light machine, assault rifle. So it just has many different breakdowns, especially for those that maybe just really into Pacific shooter games like myself. So just being able to also just check out that, just check out all the different perks and content. And then also I wanted to check out this other post in terms of Off the Grid sales are going to explode. CSGO item got 1 million offer and sale. Off the Grid is a modern day CSGO, Apex, COD, and Fortnite with the actual marketplace. So a lot of people are just specifically bullish on the Pacific platform, not necessarily off of the token, but but maybe off some of the collections and different things that you may gain, especially just different benefits to have for that members pass. So so many different variables to be able to consider, but just make sure you just ultimately just have fun playing the game, and then hopefully you'll just collect some loot along the way. But that is my wrap up for today. I'll give my recap, my thoughts and analysis, and I'll break all this down. Let's get it.
Thoughts about Off the Grid overall as a platform, along with Gunzilla Games and the whole AAA ecosystem that they're building. They definitely do have a downline and base of devs, and now that they got co-signs from Epic Game Store and then being able to get integrated with PlayStation and Xbox, they actually have a real plan to actually onboard new actual users, which is the biggest problem in Web3, and specifically Web3 gaming, is onboarding new users and bringing them onto the player base. So they actually have a pathway to that, and now that they actually released their gun token, that allows you to swap and trade just different items within the marketplace as you choose. If you pick up a specific item and there are in-game items that's actually earned, and actually extracting those specific hexes. So you're going to see people be able to flip different items and skins and they get a specific rare. So just look for those different traits throughout the game. And then along with the future plans, I know they just released a token, but what's next for this AAA shooter? How are they going to continue the process of onboarding? What is the marketplace going to look like? How are they going to specifically just look to gain more traction? Because all this is a good start. I believe just with this specific level of adoption, specifically into a Web3 game, I feel like Web3 is asking for something they haven't really yet seen before. But those are my thoughts. But make sure you like, subscribe, comment, make sure you share the video. Stay tuned for all the videos I'm going to drop. I'm going to see you in the next one.